South Carolina. I served on the Legends Bowl, and I felt for a long time that the best two football teams in the conference was Alabama and South Carolina. So you lose games every once in a while, I understand that. Still, I think they're an outstanding football team. I'm a little uncomfortable. You know, when you get a little age on you have flashbacks. You just have flashbacks. And I worry about that curtain. I'm having one of those flashbacks. I'm coaching the Phoenix Cardinals. We've got a governor in Arizona, and her name is Rose Mumford. And she's got a big old hairdo that goes way up. And she wanted me to go to Yuma and speak on Yuma says no to drugs. And I said, Governor, I'll be more than happy to. There's several thousand people in the audience, everybody hitting on the governor. She said, I want to sit beside Coach Stallings. He's the only one here that doesn't want anything. She sat to my left. Somebody calls me up to the podium, asks me a question. I go back and sit down. There's a curtain behind us, and my chair was ahead of the governor's. Well, you don't feel comfortable sitting in front of the governor. You know how you can just sort of scoot your chair back. And when I did, I went off the back. You know, I hate you folk. I hit her right upside the head. She goes flying back, her head hits the back. Her eyes roll back. I said, Lord, I've killed a governor. I've seen her do this on television, huh? So I'm down there doing it. I don't know why, but I'm doing it. I see her little eye twitch. Now, I know she's not dead, but I do not know how to address a woman governor in this situation. I got to say something. So I look at her and I said, honey, you okay? She said, my head hurts. I said, if it hadn't been all that hair, you'd be dead. That's not the thing to say, now, I'm telling you. If you're ever in that particular situation, I don't care what you say, don't say that. That was not the thing to say. It's joy to speak here for that, and you probably don't realize this, but the longest continuous chapter of the FCA is at the University of Alabama. I'm coaching at Texas A&M, and I get a call from Coach Bryant. He said, Babes, you know what's the worst thing that's ever happened to the football program at Alabama since I've been there? I said, no, what's that, Coach Bryant? He said, it's the FCA. He said, Lord, we loving on each other. We hugging each other. We talk about not hurting the opponent. He said, it's destroying the football team. About 4 weeks later, I get a call from Coach Brown. He said, Babe, you know the greatest thing that's happened to the football program at Alabama since I've been there? And I said, no, what's that, Coach? He said, it's the FCA. He said, it's brought our football team closer together. And he said, we just never experienced that before. He said, the players really care for each other. They have their Bible studies. And they went ahead to say, you know, I just wished that somewhere along the line, back when I was coming up, that they had something like the FCA. Several of you people have asked about my little boy, Johnny. You know, Johnny was born with Down syndrome, and I said, Joe somewhere. I don't know where Joe is. Where's Joe? Joe, why don't you stand up wherever you are? What a joy it was for me to see Joe just a few minutes ago. Joe, stand up there just a minute. Now, my complaining days are over. You people complain all you want to. You just go around and you complain. You just find whatever you want to and complain about it. My complaining days are over. I could tell something was wrong with Johnny. I've got a monitor, and I can hear him in his bedroom, and he's having a hard time breathing. And I go in and get in bed with him. And he's fretful, and so So I check his oxygen saturation. I don't know if you know anything about oxygen saturation, but when you go to the hospital and they put that little thing on your finger, they're checking your oxygen saturation. Everybody's in the 90s. Everybody is. If you fall below 90 and you may be 80-something, you're ready for ICU. I checked Johnny. He was 63. I said, Johnny, how do you feel? He said, I'm fine. I'm fine. Couldn't breathe a lick. And yet he said, I'm fine. Next morning, Johnny passed away. Now here's a little youngster that literally couldn't count to 10. Now Johnny couldn't count to 10. Because I'd give him big old pills. And I'd get him to get his mind off that pill and count to 10. He just couldn't do it. But you know, he's had songs written about him. He's had books written about him. As long as they play football at the University of Alabama, the equipment room is named the John Mark Stallings Equipment Room. The beautiful playground behind the RISE program is named the John Mark Stallings Playground. Beautiful playground in Hartselle, Alabama is named after Johnny. Just recently on the campus of Faulkner University, they named the football playing field the Johnny Stallings playing field. Unveiled, now here's the university, unveiled a life-size statue of Johnny. Abilene Christian University. Now we're talking about a youngster that couldn't count to 10. Abilene Christian University picked 5 people that they felt like had literally helped change the world. You know, Johnny was one of those 5. Texas A&M, where I'm a graduate of. Your 50th reunion, you give something back. We raised $250,000, $270,000 in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, and we endowed a medical scholarship. Some young man, some young lady goes to Texas A&M, studies medicine, the John Mark Stallings Medical Scholarship. And just recently, on the campus of the University of Alabama, they named a street the Johnny Stallings Drive. Now, when Johnny passed away, his mother and I received over 1,500 letters from people. And we're talking about a child with Down syndrome. The governor of Alabama sent an Alabama State Trooper car to Paris, Texas, to lead the funeral procession. The governor of Texas was there the night before. He saw that Alabama State Trooper car. He said, what's that doing here? 5 Texas State Trooper cars in Johnny's funeral procession. People on both sides of the road stopped, got out of their car, paid a little respect to the youngster with Down syndrome. See, we could all learn a little something from Johnny. And it was that it didn't make any difference if you were the CEO or the janitor. He treated you with the same amount of respect and dignity. You know how important just a little bit of kindness is? Just a little bit of kindness every once in a while. The only place I've ever coached where Johnny didn't like to go to church was St. Louis. I was coaching the St. Louis Cardinals, and Johnny just wasn't comfortable. You know, I'd hold on to his mother's skirt. He just wasn't comfortable going to church until one Sunday, one lady said, Johnny, down at the end of the hall, there's a table, got a present on it. I think I see your name on it. And he just goes, a little teddy bear, some didn't amount to a whole lot, but felt a little bit better about that church. Following Sunday, the lady said, Johnny, down at the end of the hall, there's a table, got a present on it. I think it's got your name on it. You know, just that little bit of kindness. And sometimes we get just so busy that we can't display a little kindness. See, we live in tough times. Chances are you have no idea what's happening in the United States. We've got 10 million alcoholics in the United States. Every day, there's 6,000 new teenage alcoholics. 1 out of 9, 11%, of all the high school youngsters in the United States, daily users of a marijuana cigarette. You know what's creeping into our high schools? Cocaine. Cocaine. You don't have a clue on how strong cocaine is. Paris, Texas. When I went to school, the worst thing that could happen to you in Paris, Texas is have to go to the principal's office. You know they got a policeman in the hall? A policeman in the hall at a high school? Every day in the United States we have 13 teenagers commit suicide. We have over 1 million a year that attempt it. You know how many kids run away from home? Just run away from home. Over 1 million. Average age, 14. We spend more money in the United States on illegal drugs than we do on imported oil. And these statistics go on and on. You take all the 14-year-old teenage girls, take all the 14-year-old girls. If we don't change, by the time they're 19, about 40% of them will become pregnant. A typical daddy in the United States, and I know nobody in here is typical, I understand that. But if you ever run across a typical daddy in the United States, works 40 hours a week, sleeps 50 hours a week, spends 9 hours a week grooming himself, getting ready to go somewhere, and 2.5 minutes a day with his child. Typical daddy. Is there any wonder that we need FCA programs where a youngster has an opportunity to just be in the presence of somebody sometime that's wanting to spend a little time talking about Jesus Christ with them? And they send them to a camp. Can you imagine the life-changing experiences of some of these high school youngsters that now all of a sudden find themselves at an FCA camp? And there's some outstanding pros, there's some outstanding college players, and here's some high school guys that go to this camp and spend a week or so with these. It's a life-changing experience. And yet they wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't people like you. I'm coaching for the Dallas Cowboys. We had 13 rookies make our football team. Sort of unheard of in professional football, but have that many rookies make your team. We're sitting around the table trying to come up with a goal for the Dallas Cowboys the year that we had all those rookies made our team. After 2 or 3 days, this is what it was. For everybody to have a genuine appreciation for the contribution that everybody made. We said now when the year's over, if the player appreciates coach, coach the player. If that player appreciates the trainer, the offense, the defense, the offense. If that player appreciates the equipment man that keeps him in good gear, just a genuine appreciation. Last game we lost that year was in the Super Bowl. You know how important it is to have an appreciation. So I'm saying, as a father of a child that has special needs, how much I appreciate people that would sort of find a little present for them. But for you people to give some of your money, when chances are you don't know anybody that the money goes to. You're just giving a little money so somewhere somebody can go to a camp that may be a life-changing experience is a big deal. Not a lot of us ever do things that falls under the category of a big deal. But now all of a sudden you're doing something that's a big deal. My favorite biblical verse, and everybody in here has a favorite Bible verse. Mine's in 3 John. It goes something like this. I have no greater joy than to know that my children are walking in the truth. I just have no greater joy than to know that my children are walking in the truth. Well, a lot of these other parents would like for their children maybe, but they don't have anybody. And all of a sudden, here's an FCA chapter that brings these high school youngsters in, or maybe a college kid, and it makes a difference in their lives. And now, all of a sudden, they're going to have an opportunity to maybe go to a camp. They can't afford to go to the camp. But somebody, somewhere, will say, hey, I'm going to give a little money. You know, I'm a blessed person. I'm going to give a little money. You know what I don't want to happen to me? I don't want to reach the age of 85 and 90, 95, and be a sour old man. You ever see a sour old man? You know, they've never done nothing. You know, they just sort of sit and they rock, and they haven't done anything. So can you imagine giving some money where somebody somewhere goes to a camp and he all of a sudden becomes a Christian and just may spend eternity in heaven? I remember speaking one time in Arkansas, and I'd got to the place a little early, and I'm reading the newspaper, and I'm reading about Reggie Jackson. Somebody said, Reggie Jackson, what do you want out of life? And in this particular article, he talked about he wanted to hit more home runs than anybody that's ever hit playing for the Yankees. He wanted to make more money than anybody that's made playing for the Yankees. Something else, I don't remember the other one. And I remember driving over to where I was going. And I said to myself, what if all of a sudden, without any warning at all, somebody sticks a microphone in front of you and says, Coach Stallings, what do you want out of life? I was an assistant coach at that time with the Dallas Cowboys. I said, how would you answer that? You say you want to be a head coach in college, a head coach in the pros, or you want to accumulate so much money at a certain age, and how would you answer it? Well, I'll tell you how I answered it, and I've answered it this way umpteen times. And that is when my children reach the age of 29, 30, and 31. I want faithful Christian children. Hopefully living with a faithful Christian man. And, well, if you believe that, what are you doing about it? See, things don't just happen. So somewhere along the line, when we think of what we'd like to do, maybe we would like to be sort of a life changer for somebody. So we give a little money, and you know, when you come to a dinner such as this, there's no question, you got to have money. Because to go out, it's okay, either give us your time or give us your money. Give us one or the other. Well, most of us say, we're busy, man. I mean, I'd love to go out and meet some, you know, but do you realize how busy I am? I can't do that. Well, then, give me a little of your money so I can hire somebody to go out. See, just every once in a while, we do the right thing strictly because it's the right thing to do. One of the things that I've shared with some of them are, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm helping build a hospital in Haiti. Your wildest imagination, you can't believe how poor they are. I mean, you just can't believe how poor they are. There's a town called Thomasville, 170,000 people. They've got a witch doctor. They have no electricity, no sewage, no fresh water, no wood, no anything. I've got a daughter that's gone over there 30 times. Her husband's a doctor, and they shut down 1 week out every month. And they take food to the poor, and they, administer some medical, about 65 acres of land. On that 65 acres of land, they were going to build an orphanage, and they were going to build a hospital. Now here's the people don't even have a doctor. They're going to build a hospital. They're going to build a school. They're going to build a little home for the retarded child called Johnny's House. And they're going to build a worship center. I told Laurie, I said, honey, your old daddy will have to get that money for that hospital. You know what a thrill that is for me? To know that I'm helping raise some money for a hospital for people that the average wage is like $1 or $2 a day and don't have anything. Most of the time, we do something for somebody that can do something for us. said, yeah, so, well, you know, I'll get you some tickets to South Carolina and Clemson game, but I may need to use your plane later on. It's just sort of the way we do things. But now all of a sudden you're doing something for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. Just simple as that. See, so we don't want to grow up to be an old grumpy man, an old grumpy woman, because we've done something, we've helped somebody, and we don't have a dog in the fight, but we're some mother somewhere wants her child to grow up right too, but just don't know how to do it. So now all of a sudden they go to an FCA meeting and they go to an FCA camp and they spend a week with these Christian pros and these Christian college kids, and I'm telling you, it's a life-changing experience. They're different people, all because you helped. I got a letter not too terribly long ago from a lady that during the Christmas vacation, Christmas holidays, it was a Christmas letter. You know, we send out the Christmas letters, and we get Christmas letters. This lady had a severely handicapped child. And she was talking about the joys of raising that child. But she's also talking about the struggles. Struggles of raising that child. Not easy. It's the way she closed her letter. Life is not about waiting until the storm passes by, but it's learning how to dance in the rain. See, Johnny taught me how to dance in the rain. You know, just somewhere along the line, we do the best we can with what we got. It's somewhere along the line, thinking right. Just purely old thinking right. You know how important that is? I'm coaching St. Louis Cardinals. I'm having dinner with Stan Musial. Great baseball player. I couldn't believe it. I'm having dinner with Stan Musial. I just couldn't believe it. Hadn't been that long, started talking about baseball. He sort of pulled that bat back. Just see it out over to its table, and he's looking at that picture, and he said, Coach, when the ball hadn't gone that far, I knew what it was. It's a fastball, a sinker, a slider. He said, I just couldn't wait to hit it. He said, you know what I enjoyed about playing baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals? I said, no, Mr. Musial, what's that? He said, I wanted to be the bottom of the ninth, behind one run. Runner on second, runner on third. 2 outs. And I wanted to hear the announcer say, Stan Musial to the plate. You know, most of us want somebody else to go to the plate. And then if he strikes out, we pat him on the back, say, no big deal, everybody strikes out every once in a while. You know what that is? That's thinking right, man. Not many of us just really think right. Just every once in a while, we've got to think right. So we say, Stan Musial, great hitter. You know what I say? Some high school